keep the world alive and war to cease. We gotta have joy, true in our hearts with strength we can't destroy. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. We're begging, save the children, the little ones who just don't understand. Give them a chance to breathe their young and help purify the land. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could meet and shake the other's hand, work together for the good of the land. Give us all an equal chance. It could be such a sweet romance. And the soldiers who are dead and gone, if only we could bring back one, he'd say we gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease. We gotta have joy, true in our hearts with the strength we can't.
Curtis Mayfield here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We are broadcasting from Ohio University, established in 1804. And it's great to be here in the studios, the PBS studios of WOUB. Wonderful to be here with the students and to be here in this historic area of the country where the Underground Railroad went through. I'm Amy Goodman. 5 years ago this month, in April of 2004, the first photographs from inside Abu Ghraib appeared in the U.S. media. The photos showed Iraqi prisoners being tortured, abused, and humiliated by U.S. forces and private contractors. While the first photos were broadcast on 60 Minutes and published in the pages of The New Yorker, the initial reports of torture actually came months earlier. Beginning in 2003, members of the Christian Peacemaker Team in Iraq began documenting dozens of cases of torture and abuse of Iraqi prisoners inside U.S. military facilities. We're joined right now here at Ohio University in Athens by two local peace activists, longtime members of the Christian Peacemaker Team, Peggy and Gish. Peggy Gish has worked in Iraq with Christian Peacemaker Teams since October of 2002. She helped document the first reports of abuse inside U.S. prisons in Iraq. She's author of Iraq, A Journey of Hope and Peace. Her husband, Gish, has been part of the Christian Peacemaker Teams in the West Bank since 1995. He's the author of several books, including Hebron Journal, Stories of Nonviolent Peacemaking. Thank you so much for being with us. It's wonderful to have you with us. Peggy Gish, let's begin with you. President Obama just took a surprise trip to Iraq. You yourself were kidnapped there in Iraq.
Yes.
Just talk to me.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you. Right.
Oh, just listen to what I'm saying, just as I'm talking to you here. What happened to you in Iraq?
What happened in Iraq?
Yes.
What happened to you in Iraq?
In Iraq, yes. Well, two of us were traveling to a very impoverished area in northwestern Iraq. And there were groups of people who wanted to work nonviolently to deal with the struggles there. And two of us were abducted on the way home. I was kept only 2 days.
Where?
And in the compound out in the desert. And my colleague was kept for another 6 days. And then we were released unharmed, which we think has something to do with them hearing about the work of CPT and the kind of work that we were doing.
Of the Christian Peacemaker Teams.
Yes.
Well, talk about that and your work being seminal in getting out the photographs of Abu Ghraib.
Yes. We started this work in the summer of 2003, and what it grew out of just helping the Iraqi families that had people detained in their family. And then we began discovering gross abuse in all of the prisons of Iraq, not just Abu Ghraib. And there was a lot of brutality from the very beginning of the house raid in the middle of the night, where soldiers acknowledged that they had 30 seconds or 40 seconds of absolute terror to subdue the people. And then brutality in the questioning, the interrogation process, torture going on in that process, as well as in the imprisonment time. So we were hearing stories from men and women who had been in Abu Ghraib and other prisons. And we compiled a report on 72 prisoners that became part of a pool of evidence. And we were one of several organizations, Iraqi and international groups, that put tremendous pressure on the system to make it public.
Why have you chosen to live in Iraq for so many years under the gun? I mean, in the midst of the U.S. attack, why you've chosen to live in Iraq?
Yes, why do I go back? I go there because I've been given a deep love for the Iraqi people, and love is really what has overcome the fear that I have to struggle with when I go there, but also because I am from a country that has done tremendous damage to their society, to the people, devastated the lives and culture of a people. And I want to do some small part in trying to help the people of Iraq, but also to let the people here know what is really happening there. So part of our work is just truth-telling, witnessing what the occupation has done, what that has meant for people. And it has been a horrible thing for the people of Iraq. It has meant up to 1 million people killed, continued physical devastation of the country. There's still very little clean water or electricity, very poor medical care. People have been traumatized. Friends tell us that they are so despairing and depressed and do not see much hope for the future of their country, at least not for generations. And so it is a devastated country. And people say, I don't feel like it's getting better.
When were you last there?
2 weeks ago. I just came back.
What was your reaction to President Obama's recent surprise trip this week and his calling for troop reductions in Iraq?
Yeah, I didn't catch all that question.
What was your reaction to Obama going to Iraq
Yeah.
this week?
I wish that Obama would be speaking out clearly, acknowledging the harm that the U.S. has done there more clearly. And what we see and what Iraqis see is that Obama is just following in the same policies concerning Iraq that Bush has. The timetable for withdrawing is very similar to what Bush had put on the table. And I guess I'm afraid that he's just being sucked into it, being pressured into a kind of aggressive military policy for dealing with the struggles of the world. What's happening with Iraq is now being transferred over into the work with Afghanistan. So we're going to take troops from Iraq, but we're going to increase the war there, the war on terror. And that is what we ought to be addressing, is our whole foreign policy, the way we are dealing with this whole problem of terrorism in the world.
We're talking to